Alright, I'm back. More knives. I'm going to go over the different types of steel, Japanese steel, and kind of the purpose of them and what you want them for and stuff. So I'm going to start with this one. This is the Senzo Suncraft 165mm bunker, Sentoku. Damascus clad VG10. Really, really nice knife. This is probably my favorite knife that I have at the moment. Super light, and the VG10 steel I think is kind of the all-round basic Japanese steel. Like, it's just the go-to. So if it's your first knife and you're not sure, VG10's the easiest to look after. It doesn't get as crazy sharp as some of the other steels, and it doesn't hold its edge quite as long, but it doesn't rust. I mean, it'll rust if you leave it outside in the rain or whatever, but it doesn't rust. It doesn't stain, stainless, and it's just easy to look after. Like, it's hard to chip, and it's just really nice steel. So, I mean, if you're a home cook and you don't want to have to maintain your knife, like, this is easy. Wash it, dry it really well, chuck it in the drawer, it's fine. I've had this knife for about 6 months. I haven't used it much in the last probably month, but I've only had to sharpen it once on the stone. So it still holds its edge for ages. I use this knife probably 2 hours, just about every day, for that sort of 4 or 5 months. And yeah, only had to sharpen it the once on the stone. So still really good. Really, really nice knife. Like, this knife is just so light. Weight's a little bit more in the handle than in the blade, which is kind of nice. For the knife this light, it puts the weight in your hand, which is all right. And super pretty. Like, the Damascus on it is really cool. Layered. So yeah, Senzo Suncraft. But yeah, that's the VG10. The next one is carbon. So you got 2 types of carbon. You've got Shirogami, which is white paper carbon. And then you've got Aogami. So this is Aogami. This is Aogami number 2. So there's Shirogami 1, 2, and 3, and then there's Aogami 1, 2, 3, and Aogami Super. And they're basically all the same. They're full carbon, but they just have, slightly different minerals and stuff to help hold its edge, get sharper, that sort of stuff. Yeah, the Shirogami gets the sharpest, and it'll hold its edge the longest. The Aogami doesn't get quite as sharp, but it's a little bit easier to look after. The Shirogami rusts really quick, where the Aogami doesn't. And where I live is super prone to rusting, so the Aogami for me was better. And I got number 2 because that's what was available in the knife that I wanted. It really made no difference to me. I would have liked to try the Super, but I'm not really sure on the exact, differences between like the 1, 2, and 3. But yeah, so the carbon steel is going to be kind of like a chef's go-to. If you're a chef, you'd probably want the carbon because you're using it every day. It's going to hold its edge the longest. And like I said, it's going to get the sharpest. Like, it'll get laser sharp. This knife is the 210mm Gyoto from Hatsukokoro. It was a little bit of a cheaper one, but still a really nice knife. And this is what I'm using at the moment, mostly, for most stuff. Karachi clad, really cool knife. And yeah, the carbon steel has been really nice. I haven't had any problems with it rusting. Just dry it really quick. It does stain. Carbon steel stains. So don't freak out when your knife starts to, you know, get little stains and change color a little bit. Like, it happens. And it actually looks really cool when it all sort of builds on the blade. So yeah, that will happen. Don't freak out when it starts to change color a little bit. Always wash any knife with a soft cloth or the soft side of a sponge with just hot soapy water. Don't ever put it in the dishwasher. Try not to get the handles wet because they're, you know, traditional wooden handles. They'll kind of start to rot and stuff. If the wax on them, you know, starts to wear, you can always re-wax them yourself. It's super easy. But yeah, that's the carbon steel. Probably if you're just a home cook, you don't need carbon steel. It's a little bit harder to look after. It's a little bit easier to sharpen than the VG10 or the stainless steels. But it's just kind of not all that necessary if you're a home cook, you know. But yeah, super cool knife. Super happy with the blue carbon so far. And I'm going to have to buy a white carbon knife next to see what that's like. And then the next one is SLD, or I'm pretty sure this is SLD. So this is the 165mm SLD Tsukimi clad Nikiri from Tarafusa. I think I'm saying all that right. I actually only just got this knife today. That's why I'm doing this video. But this is a super cool knife. And the SLD steel is pretty much the equivalent of like a D2 or an R2 in America. It's a really common tool still. It's semi-carbon, semi-stainless. So it's a blend of both, sort of the best of both worlds. I'm super excited to use this knife and see how it works. I chop mostly fruit and vegetables for work. Most of my job is salad prep. So I'm super excited to have an Akiri now for that. And just see how the steel goes, because obviously I've had the VG10 and the carbon, blue carbon. So now to have, you know, a semi-carbon, semi-stainless knife is super cool. Yeah, so there's SLD and SKD. And I don't know heaps about them, but as far as I can tell, the SLD is just a slightly more refined version. It's kind of like the VG5 and the VG10. So your VG5 is kind of your more basic metal, your basic steel, where the VG10 is just refined a little bit more, but they're both going to be super similar steels. This will still rust. The semi-carbon will still rust. Not quite as much, but like still just dry it off really well, keep it in a dry place. If you buy a little, like a knife slot, I have got one here. So this one is for my VG10 bunker, and that just keeps it dry, keeps it away from the air. The other thing you can do is you can just make one. So this one's a little bit dodgy because I made it just quickly. But just make it out of butcher's paper or newspaper, you know, whatever you want really. And it just keeps your knife nice and dry. Super easy to make. And this one came with a little clear one, so that's all right. But yeah, just try and keep them dry. I'm interested to see if this knife stains at all. I'm honestly not sure if it will yet, but we'll see. The vegetable I've found that stains your knife the most is red onion, purple onion. I think because of the acidity. So when cutting onions, just keep your knife dry all the time. Don't leave the, you know, onion juice sitting on your knife because I think it'll just stain it. It doesn't matter that much, but, you know, for me, it's just a little thing. I like my knives to look nice. I love the way this knife looks. The Tsukimi, which I think I'm saying right, looks so cool on it. It's a little bit hard to see. But yeah, that's pretty much all your knife types. There are thousands and thousands of steel types out there, but yeah, that's basically them. There.